originally, I was going to talk about how they added Wario Land 1 and Dr. Mario plus Puzzle League to Nintendo Classics on Switch Online, but they added something even more interesting that I needed to talk about, since this is related to the Mario RPGs, and it's actually a game that I've been playing earlier this year, though I need to get back into it since I've been pretty busy lately. But they added none other than Tomato Adventure! This is crazy, though unfortunately it's only on the Japanese version of the app. There's still no official translation, which I think is very unfortunate. But if you didn't know already, this is basically the precursor, the predecessor to the Mario and Luigi series. Since this was developed by Alpha Dream, it's actually one of their first games, technically like their second game, I believe. But this released right before Superstar Saga, and it basically kind of laid the groundwork for the Mario and Luigi series. This game is practically Mario and Luigi Zero. Like, even though the battle system may differ a little bit, I do think it does have, like, the core element of, like, action commands and kind of, like the fact that it's, like, fast-paced, but, like, it also takes a lot of cues from the Mario and Luigi series takes a lot of cues from this game's pacing, humor, and even art style as well. So, I'm gonna get into it here. Unfortunately, I can't really recommend this version, since, it's only in Japanese here, but there is a really good fan translation of this game that's available online that I'll link in the description. You'll have to find the ROM on your own means, but it is definitely worth playing. Like either on an emulator or a flash cart. It's a great game, and I feel like if you like either the Mario and Luigi series or the Paper Mario series, or both like me, you'll really like this game. It's a very, like, newcomer-friendly RPG. It's very beginner-friendly, I would say. Kind of similar to Super Mario RPG. It is actually easier than most of the Mario and Luigi games, I would say. But here's the villain, King Abira, who's the baby who's obsessed with tomatoes, and is also an inventor, and is, like, super insane. He's basically the proto-Fawful. But the plot of this game is that he's creating this, or basically creating this device called the Super Kara Cooker that, well, he deceives people with it, but in reality, it actually transforms people into toys. So, like I said, a very crazy plot. But King Abira is basically like a dictator who, like, rolls over the Ketchup Kingdom, and anyone who doesn't like tomatoes are sent to, like, the one town the main character starts off in here, and they're called Droppers. But yeah, this is the main character, Demille. Sounds a little bit like Demeech. But even though he looks a little bit like a rabbit, he's actually a cat. It's just his hat that makes it look that way. But he starts off living inside of a bus here, which I think is an interesting detail. And he breaks his TV. But it starts off fairly similar to how you would expect a Mario RPG type game to start off. Like, you start off, like, at the house in, like, a little village here. But the music even kind of sounds similar to the Mario and Luigi series as well. So down here in this, like, little, manhole type thing here, is where Selimo lives, and Selimo kind of gives you, like, the things that you need to progress. But I think we have to, like, interact with some of the NPCs here. Is like, we need to wait for Selimo. Okay, so we got a Binky, which is basically, like, one of the collectibles in this game you could use to get new moves. But I'll get into the moves once we get into the battle system here. But I will say, since this is a very beginner-friendly RPG, you could technically play this game in Japanese if you really want to. It's really easy to just, like, spam through the text and just progress in this game. Because, I mean, like, As long as you, like, there's, like, a lot of visual elements, like, in the battle system that are, like, easy to memorize. And that poster there on the wall is actually foreshadowing something later in the game. I'm not gonna mention it because it's a spoiler. Well, if you care about spoilers for this game. I will say, though, I will not spoil this game because I feel like it is definitely worth playing. And I bet most of you watching probably haven't played it. Okay, now we can go into Selamo's little hideout here. Okay. I'm just gonna say, I don't know Japanese, I just know what happens in this game. Because I've been playing through the translated version, like I said. That's why I'm, like, mentioning some of the details that are going on here. But we're gonna look at the tutorial here. So it even has, like, the little detail that the Mario and Luigi series eventually would have, where Selamo kind of goes into the UI and shows you different things. That's something that originated here. But I really like the battle theme in this game. But yeah, see how he, like, shows the things in the UI? But basically, the moves in this game are called gimmicks, and basically, like, each of their action commands almost act as, like, a WarioWare microgame, where you have to, like, beat it in, like, a couple seconds here. But I'll show you. So this one, you have to, like, stop it when it gets to the red part here. There we go. But yeah, each of these are different, and I think it's pretty fun. It's a very engaging battle system, I would say. It's fairly simple, though, but it is fun. There we go. This is kind of how I would expect a WarioWare RPG to work. Though it's not too different from Paper Mario as well. Because, like, Paper Mario also almost has, like, some mini-game, like, elements to it, with, like, the special moves, and Thousand Year Door especially. But yeah, those are the gimmicks, like, kind of like the main moves in this game. I think I need to go back here. There we go. Yeah, that's just a weird quirk with the, playing the Japanese version of these games. I don't know what text screen I got stuck on there, but I don't remember getting stuck on, like, a text box in, like, the fan translation. But there's Passeron, Demille's girlfriend. It's either Passeran or Passeron. I'm not sure what the correct pronunciation is. But yeah, so let's continue to go up this way. So now the path is clear. And we have our first mini-boss coming up. There's, like, I think, like, that's, like, one of the guard characters. Okay, so we have our first true battle here. There we go. Yeah, this definitely looks like a Mario and Luigi series character. Like, very similar to, like, Fawful and Popple in design. But yeah, unlike the Mario RPGs, there's no way of, like, blocking or dodging, so it's more like a traditional RPG in that sense. But it's similar to the Mario RPGs in the fact that you have, like, engaging action commands for each of the moves. Yeah, we can go forward here. But yeah, I really like the visual style of this game. If you notice that there's like really small sprites here, this was actually originally meant to be a Game Boy Color game called Gimmick World. I think the ROM for that is available too. We have a map here, kind of like Super Mario RPG. And yeah, many of the same developers of Super Mario RPG also worked on this game, since like Alpha Dream was originally made up of like a lot of Square developers. But yeah, we have our first area here. We have some enemies. I forgot what the name of this one was in the fan translation, but it's like, this is like kind of like the Goomba slash Beanie enemy here. There we go. And also, I wanted to show, if I can find it here. But there's a way that you could, like, increase the level of your, gimmicks. I just need to get used to navigating the menu here. Okay, that was just save. Okay. I'm not sure if I can... Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah, you can actually increase the level of your gimmicks, which is really cool. So you can make it, like, slightly harder. I'll level it up to 3. But it makes it harder, and also more effective as well. So it's really ideal to, like, kind of level up your gimmicks, or like, you can also level them up too, or increase the difficulty of your gimmicks whenever possible. But yeah, you can also level them up as well with different items. Oh, there's Selimo again. But yeah, like I've been doing here, like, it is very playable, even with the Japanese version. But yeah, I highly recommend playing the fan translation. Okay, I just have to open the menu here. Okay, that's just showing how to use items. And different, like, things you can get items from. Because you can get items from those little Easter egg things here. And there's also those little tomato characters as well. But yeah, it's pretty unfortunate that this game still hasn't gotten an official translation yet. I feel like NSO would be the perfect way to translate a lot of these older games. I know they would have to have, like, the treehouse to it, or, like, create, like, a dedicated team to, like, translate a lot of these games. But, I mean, at the same time, I feel like it would be worth it. And I think it would be a good incentive for, like, subscribers and everything. I mean, even if they had, like, a separate tier, where you'd have to pay a little more for, like, translated versions of, like, previously Japanese-only games, like, I still think that would be worth it. Or, if you could buy them outright on the eShop, I think, like, I still think that would be worth it. But, yeah, anyways, thank you guys for watching this video, and make sure to play the fan translation of this game. It is really good. Stay perky!